Please mute yourself, all of you. Good afternoon, students. 71 people have joined. We can't wait. We have to start, otherwise we'll be late. All of you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. 75 students have joined. Okay. It's already 2:15 past, so if anyone wants to join later, that will be problem basically. That's why I'm waiting. Okay. Hang on 1 second. Let me present my screen. Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. So today we will basically start the assignment number 1 a bit also. Just before starting assignment number 1, we need some basic things we have to know regarding your dimensioning and some types of lines and all. So we will discuss those things today, and along with we'll also discuss the problem number 1 of assignment number 1. That means similar problem like problem number 1, assignment number 1. And so this is the problem. While I'm going on, someone is trying to enter. Okay, so I will not allow anyone to enter from now. Okay, so let us start. uh, you see, whatever you can see right now in your screen, that is your, you can see some paper size, right? So in the last class I have told you regarding some instruments and all. Yes, that will be required obviously, but we have also discussed about this. If you recapitulate about this paper, A1 size paper drawing sheet, A1 size drawing sheet, right? You can see here different types of paper size is given. We often use this one, A4, right? Often if you just write any assignments or any your letters, whatever, you use A4 size paper, right? So this is the size of that A4 size paper, 210 millimeter into 297 millimeter, just the length and breadth. Okay, length and the breadth of that paper is 210 and 297 millimeter. So this is the approximately, this is, there may be 1-2 millimeter change, but this is the approximately size, standard size of A4 size. And it actually, if you see, it comes from A0. It starts from A0, which is a very very large size. So A0 size is your 841 cross your 1189. Okay, in terms of millimeter, all are in millimeter. So you can see 1189 millimeter, that is the length. Okay, length of A0 size sheet, and this is your breadth. Okay, 841. So you see that the interesting thing is that these all the papers are somehow related with each other in respect of your size. How we are getting, basically, if we just cut into two pieces equally, like this, if we just cut at the middle, each of the part will be one A1 size paper. Okay, so that is the terminology we follow, how we get from A0 to A1 or A1 to A2. Okay, so basically you see the length is getting half. Okay, that you can see the length is getting half, and the breadth, the earlier breadth of A0, that is getting converted to the length. Okay, length of the A1 paper. So in the same fashion it will go upwards, and A5 is the smallest one as per this standard size. So if I just cut this A0 size, I will get cut the means into two equal pieces, I will get this A1 drawing sheet, right? So this is basically the A1 drawing sheet that we may be required if we start the offline classes, not your online class, because you cannot place this A1 drawing sheet in your home, okay, because you are not having, most of you are not having drawing boards. So that's why so we are just we are going to stick to that sketchbook whatever I told in the last class. But you should know about the size. Often in the viva it is asked what is the size of A1 drawing sheet that we use in the for the drawing purpose. That is your 594 into 841. Okay, so that length and breadth you have to remember only. And in this way you can see it is also, if I just cut into two pieces the this A1 size drawing sheet, I will get A2 and so on. Okay, each of the things is getting half in the same fashion. The length is getting half, that is getting breadth, and the breadth is getting the length of the corresponding papers. So this is all about the sizes. You can now see one important thing. You can take screenshot during the lectures, but obviously don't ask for this PPT. So you can take a note of this, you can take screenshot, okay, as per your convenience, okay, for the relevant information that you require. And if you want, the meeting is also getting recorded, so we may create a Google Classroom. We can share the link, okay, also over there if you want. Okay, that I'm coming to later, that point. Okay, so this is about all about the sizes of different papers. Okay, this is all about the sizes of different papers. So A1 is very important to know, okay, as it is related directly to the engineering drawing, and also in general whatever you use the A4 paper, that dimension also you can take a note of this for your reference, 210 into 297 millimeter. Okay, next is something very basic, lettering and numbering. Okay, very important, lettering and numbering in the context of engineering drawing, right? You may be confused, or you may be surprised that why sir is showing ABCD. We all know that ABCDEFGH. Why sir is showing these things, or 1 2 3 4, this numerics also, why sir is showing this. My point of concern is not showing you ABCD. My point of concern is to show you about the fashion or about the rule how to write something in the drawing sheet. Whatever, first and foremost thing, whatever you write in the drawing sheet or in the sketchbook, as of now you are using sketchbook, so whatever you write in the sketchbook or in the drawing sheet, write it in capital letters. I repeat, write it in capital letters, no small letters, no smaller case is you're allowed. So just always try to write in caps. So that capital letter, whatever you will use, that capital letter, say you are drawing just a parabola, okay, just a engineering curve, a parabola, say for example, and just below that you are writing parabola, it's a parabola. So that parabola, whatever you are writing, PARABOLA, okay, so that basically should be written in a proper fashion. Okay, you cannot write that means according to you. Why I'm telling this, because each of the font, if you see here, whatever I'm showing you right now in front of your just in this slide, you can see all the fonts are having some size. Okay, you can see there are 5 units. Now unit may be millimeter, okay, that is dependent, but just if you think about the ratio, so if the height is 5 units, so this is nothing but your 4 unit. Okay, this is your 4 unit. If you count it, this is my 4 unit. Okay, this, if you just count these boxes, 1 2 3 and 4, and height, you see for all the fonts the height is 5 units. Okay, and exception is for this F and J. Okay, because these are a bit thinner, so 3.5 units and 3 units over here, and M and W. Okay, others will be almost same. M and W is having both height and width, both 5 units. Okay, so that is the special case we should think of. Someone is texting me, sir, I'm not able to join the class, it's only showing you will be only able to okay, but you should know that you have to join within the time. Okay, 2:20 is not the timing to join the class, at least in my class. Okay, now see this why I'm showing this, it is just your is it possible to maintain these things, that means 5 units to measure and the width will be 4 units while you will write anything? Obviously not, but my point of concern is, my intention is to make you understand that whatever you write, all the fonts should be of same size. All the fonts should be of same size, that means of same height at least. Okay, and the width may change 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, that will not matter much, but it should, that means say A you are writing this much of size and B you are writing just after that very small, that is not allowed. That may be allowed for the casual drawing, okay, but not for this type of engineering drawing. Okay, so that is the thing uh, that you have to keep in your mind. But how it is possible, to maintain this, my suggestion is to draw two lines, two very very thin lines, that means this uppermost line and this bottom one, these two lines. Okay, these two lines you just draw by your scale. Obviously these two lines should be parallel to each other, and once you are getting these two lines, whatever the space you are having in between, that will be obviously same. Just in between whatever the space you are having, you write, okay, in between that, so that all the fonts whatever you write, that will be automatically of having your same height or not. Is it clear, this point whatever I told right now? Is it
So
clear
how
to you?
much is 1 unit equivalent to over here?
Now that I'm telling that say now this, there is here some standard value I have shown, but again that depends on your size of the drawing. Again, size of your drawing, if you are drawing in a large scale, obviously if you use very small letters, then that is not suitable. But as of now I can say you that 1 unit means 1 millimeter you can take in that ratio. I'm interested in ratio. Okay, but
Okay, sir.
it depends on the, basically on the size of your drawing. Now that is up to you. Okay, because you are adult enough to predict the size with which you are just you're writing anything. But my point is, all the font should be in capital letters and the size should be same, that means the height should be same. Okay, some letter is of larger height, some letter is of smaller size, that is not allowed. Okay, that's why I'm showing this lettering and numbering. And don't use any casual writing, always try to write whatever this A B C D E F G H in formal way they have written over here. Try to maintain this type of formal fonts. Okay, similarly for this numerics also. Okay, for 1 2 3 4 5 6, similar, the same case for this numerics also. So my suggestion is, you draw first two parallel lines. Now those two lines may not be seen, that means may not be visible to me, that is only visible to you. That means very very thin line you draw, and in between you write, so that automatically all the fonts will be of same size. Is that clear to all of you?
Why the crosses are given?
Uh-huh.
Why
Crosses.
the yes?
No, these crosses basically, these boxes, you are not going to make these boxes. Okay, you are not just, don't think about these boxes. These boxes have been shown to just for 1 unit. Okay, for just showing for 1 units. That's it. Nothing else is required over here. You don't need to make these boxes even. Only you have to maintain this line and this line, these two parallel lines, that much, and you have to write in between that. Okay. So this is basically some, there is no such significance of this cross over here. This is one box is basically showing 1 unit over here. Okay. Next is the types of lines. This is very important. These different types of lines will be used in engineering drawing. You can see some list of lines. I will discuss whatever you may require in this subject, only those you that will be discussed, and gradually some more types of lines you will be knowing during this course. This number one, first one is a continuous thick line. So type of line, you can see line representation and what is the use of that particular line. So first one is the continuous thick line. Okay, so that means my line should be thick. Okay, the line representation also you can see over here, that is a very thick line, and that is a use is object outline. Basically the use of thick line is object outline. That means you are drawing something which may be some inner parts also, but outline, outside border, that means outline of that particular object should be drawn by the continuous thick line. Okay, so thick line will be only used for the object outline. Next one is the continuous thin line. That means except that outline, whatever the parts you are drawing, okay, inside that object, that will be drawn by your continuous thin line. Not only that, any type of your, okay, please wait, someone is still. So many people are there, you see. I suggest all of you that try to enter at least in between 215 or 220 maximum. Okay. I will not be allowing anyone to enter in the meeting from the next class if he wants to enter after 230 or 225, like that. Okay. So continuous thin line is also used for the dimensioning purpose, extension line, construction line, leader line, hatching line. Now you may be surprised to know these type of lines, but I will show you today itself that what are these types of lines and where it is basically used. Basically all this will be drawn by thin line, but depending on the use, different types of lines are there. So all these types of lines will be of type of thin continuous line, that is this one. Next one is the continuous thin wavy. You can see an wavy line, okay, just like a sine wave. Now short break, it is used for showing short break lines or irregular boundaries. That means any object we are having, if you are having anything very small thickness, okay, compared to the length of that object, you have to show there, you have to use this type of continuous thin wavy line over there to denote that either that thickness is very small, or you are using short break lines. That means some irregular parts are there, okay, some irregular parts of the object are there. So that wavy line, basically third one, the continuous thin wavy line is used for short break, okay, purpose. Fourth one is the zigzag line, continuous thin zigzag line. This is just the opposite, it is for long break lines. That means you are having some part, say you are designing very long, that's actual length is very long. So then you will be using this type of zigzag lines, okay, just like a heartbeat type of, you can see that zigzag type of lines. Whenever we will see this type of lines, that means we have to understand that part of that dimension or that length is very long compared to the other lengths, okay. So that is called long break lines. Fifth one is very important, short dashed line, okay. You can see this type of dashed line, okay, you can see this dashed line. So hidden line, this is basically hidden line. Hidden line means, this dashed line means you can see one continuous line, then one gap. That means for your drawing purpose, I will suggest you just say, for example, 2 millimeter continuous line, then a gap of 1 millimeter, then again a 2 millimeter continuous line, then a gap. That means it's like a dashed line. What is the use is your hidden line. That means if you are having some hidden part of any object, but you have to show that, how you will show that separately, use this type of hidden lines. That means this type of dashed line, wherever I will see in any drawing, I have to understand that that part is not visible from that side, okay. Any object may be there, so that type of say from your front side, it is not visible the parts which are in the back, but the parts are there in the back. So that type of parts will be denoted by this type of your dashed line, okay, or hidden line. It is called hidden line. Sixth one is this type of line we call as center line. This is basically the name, center line, okay. That means line dot, then line dot, again line dot. So this is the way to represent the center line. What is the significance of this center line? Center line is basically showing the axis of symmetry. I repeat, center line is nothing but the axis of symmetry. With respect to that line, the object will be symmetric in both the sides, okay. Say for example, I'm having a circle, that means two symmetric line will be there, one is horizontally, another is vertically. So the circle is symmetric to with respect to both the center lines. So center line will be at the center through the axis of that particular object. Is that clear up to 6, or any doubt? Is that clear?
Again,
Which one?
Number 3 and number 5.
Number 3, number 5. Okay, number 3, you see, number 3 is the wavy line. There will be very limited use of this one. Number 3, we may not be using this one, but you have to know. It is basically short break lines means, say I am having a long plate. Okay, the length is very large and the thickness is small. So there, the how we will show the thickness. Thickness can be shown if I use this type of your small wavy line to show the thickness of that plate. That means I will understand automatically the length of the plate is very large, but compared to the length, the dimension of the thickness is small. Okay, that is the significance of this type of short break lines. Or it is also applied for the irregular boundaries. Any type of irregular your ups and downs are there in any surface, so that irregular boundaries also may be denoted by this continuous thin wavy line. Fifth one is the dash line. Again, I'm saying you can call it as a dash line, you can call it as a hidden line. It is used for showing the hidden parts of the object. Hidden parts of the object, it will be more clear when I will discuss orthographic projection, right? It will be clear more when I will discuss the orthographic projection. There we will use some things, that means some parts that we may not be able to see all the parts from all the sides. So there, the parts that I cannot see from my side, those parts will be denoted by this type of hidden line or dashed line. And the last one that I told, that is your center line, that is nothing but the axis of symmetry of any object. Okay, it will pass through the middle of the object. Now these things will be enough, these lines will be enough as per your level. Now you see one example where you can see all the types of lines. You can see this object. This is the front view of any component. This is the top view of the same component. Okay, this is the front view. This is the top view. Now you can correlate. You see the outline. You can see this A outline is, what should be the type of line? This outline. What should be the type of line for this
Continuous thick line.
outline of the object? Yes, very good. Continuous thick line. Okay, so only the object outline will be your continuous thick line. Then you can see the center line over here. As I'm having a circular, that means a hole over here. So two center lines I have to draw. Okay, cutting plane line I am not discussing right now. That I will discuss when I will discuss the section of solids. Okay. One thing you see there, hidden line is also there. Hidden line means you can see dashed line over here. That means some edge is there that I cannot see from this front side. Okay, but that edge may be at the back. Basically that edge is this one. Okay, if this is the front direction, see my cursor, if this is the front direction, then I will see something like this, whatever I have seen, some arch type of things. But this edge I cannot see, I may not see from the front. So that's why some edge is there, but which is in the back, to show that by the hidden line. Okay, here also they have used hidden line. Why they have used hidden line? Anyone can tell me? Here, this one and this one, two hidden lines I have used over here. Why? You have to correlate this figure with this figure. Anyone can tell me why I have used here a hidden line and here a hidden line?
Sir, the section part.
Section means which section?
Sir,
I am asking about the hidden line. Here you can see one dashed line, right? And here also you can see a dashed line. That is signifying what? You just correlate with this circle. This is what I told. This figure, bottom one is the top view. This is the front view. From the top I can see a hole, a through hole. Okay, there is a hole. But from the front side, that means from this side, I am unable to see this hole. From the top only I can see this hole, but the hole is there. Are you getting my point? From the top I can see this hole. Okay, but from the front, I'll be unable to see this hole, but that hole is there. You can see there is a section. That means section means this part. That means from this point, if I draw a line, vertical line, I will get this line. From this point, if I draw a line, I will get this measurement I will get basically. And then I will draw two hidden lines to show there is some part over here, okay, that I cannot see. This is nothing but the two sides of this hole. That means this part and this part. So that will be denoted by in the front view. So it will be elaborately discussed when I will discuss the orthographic projection. But as of now, I am discussing the use of the hidden line. So that's why I have told you. Okay. Next is the dimension line. You see, very important to show the dimension. Okay, say I have to give the dimension from this point to this point. Okay, now how I will give the dimension? Just according to me I cannot give. There is a particular way to give. Now see, from this edge point I am dropping down a line. You can see small line, this vertical small line. From this edge also I am dropping down a small vertical line. These two lines, these small vertical lines here and here, that means from which point to which point I want to show the dimension. These two small vertical lines are known as extension line, that you can see. This is called extension line. And in between I am placing another horizontal line, you can see, with arrowheads at the two ends. Okay, with arrowheads at the two ends. That line will be horizontal, above which I am writing the dimension, not below. Above which I am writing 90. It is written 90 means it is the length is 90 millimeter by default. Okay, so this horizontal line above which I am writing at the middle the dimension, that is my dimension line. That is called dimension line. Fine. So this dimension line and extension line, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
This again elaborately I will show you in the next slide. There are types of dimensions. Okay, there are different types of dimensions. Two ways of dimensioning are there. Okay, this is the aligned system. Okay, this is two system are there, aligned system and your unidirectional system. So this is your aligned type of dimensioning. So this is the most common dimensioning. You just draw a horizontal line in between the two extension line, and above which and the middle you write the value in terms of millimeter only. Okay, so that this dimension can be shown. And here this section line again I will show you, through which actually if I cut any object, a section will pass through that surface. Only those surfaces will be denoted by this type of hatching lines, these inclined lines. Okay, that you can see, those are called hatching. Okay, so that I will discuss when I will discuss the sectioning of solids. And one more thing is the leader line. Okay, leader line is what? To show the dimension of any circular thing. That means say I have to give the dimension of this circle. How I will give the dimension of this circle? There is a rule. According to you cannot give. You see, through the center, if I draw the two center lines, I will get the center point of the circle. This whole I have to give the dimension. Okay, so through this center, please hold 1 minute. हाँ संतोष जी, हाँ बोलिए. नहीं तो आपका हुआ है क्या? Sorry for the interruption. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sir, sir
Okay,
can you
thank
go to the second slide for 1 minute?
This one I was here, right? Which one? Second slide.
Yes,
This one. This one, right?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. Now see, this leader line, basically how to show this dimension of this circle. You draw a line through this center. You can see a line, okay, in between the two parts. That means up to the end of the two sides of the circle. Then you put two arrowheads that you can see. Okay, so that line should pass through the center, and you just put it like this, and you keep those two arrowheads. But here above this line, you are not supposed to write that value. What you have to do, extend this line outside the object, and you give a horizontal part over here. Just you give a small horizontal part of the line. This extension, basically this extension of this line is known as leader line, and above this horizontal part you write the dimension of the circle. How the dimension can be written? Here it is written 510. You can see that 510 means the diameter of this circle is 10 millimeter. Okay, 5 stands for diameter. Okay, or you can show this dimension of this circle by the radius also. Then what I will do, I will not draw this total line. Okay, I will draw from the center towards the end of the circle. Then I will extend similarly like this. Sorry, I will extend like this, and I will give a horizontal line like this, but above which I will write what? Above which I will write R5. R stands for radius, 5 stands for diameter. So R5 I will write above here if I want to show the radius of the circle. Okay, so either you show by the diameter or you show by the radius, but this is the way. Inside the object you are not supposed to give any dimension. Outside the object you have to give that. Clear as of now? As of now it is clear.
Sir, R for radius and 5 for diameter.
Huh? Yes, R for radius, 5 for diameter. Very good.
R for
R for radius. Okay. R for radius, capital R. R, not small r. Okay. Capital R stands for radius, and this phi, whatever it is written over here, phi stands for the diameter. So that is the way to give the dimension. Again, I'm showing you in the next slide the types of dimensioning. Two types of dimensioning are there. Okay. You see, aligned system and unidirectional system, as I was discussing, but you have to follow any one. Okay. My suggestion is to follow your aligned system. You may follow unidirectional system also, that is up to you. So let us see whatever I have shown right now in the last slide also, that is a type of your aligned system. This one is aligned system, you can see. So you see over here also extension lines are there. Now see one more thing, extension line and the object will have at least 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter gap. You can see one small gap over here. Extension line, this vertical line is the extension line. So extension line should not touch the object. You have to make 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter gap like this. So there are several rules you have to maintain that. Okay, gradually you will learn that all these things. Each and every drawing there should be dimension. Without dimensioning, a drawing is having no value. So now see here, you can see this horizontal dimensioning. I think it is clear as I have shown already. This value should be written at the middle and above this dimension line. Okay. Now for the vertical dimensioning, these parts are vertical dimensioning. What you have to do? Similarly, you have to draw extension lines like this, and you have to place the dimension line also. Then how to write these dimensions? You can see there is a particular format followed over here. The value should be written above the line from your right. I repeat, the value should be written, value of the dimension should be written for the vertical dimensioning above the line from your right. Just you are having your right hand, from your right above the line you have to write the values. In each and every case here also you see above the line from your right. If you see, just if you write from your left above the line, that is wrong. Okay, so from your right above the line, that is the way to give the vertical dimension. And horizontal dimensioning is very easy. And here also you can see 516. 516 means
Diameter.
diameter of this circle.
diameter.
Okay, diameter of this circle is 16 millimeter. Okay, so again you are not allowed to write inside this object. You have to take the dimension outside the object with the help of leader line, and you have to write the dimension over here. So when I will write inside the object, if I am having a very large, very complex object there, it is not possible. Very large planning is there, say for any civil engineering purpose, but I am not, I am helpless to give the dimension outside the object. Then only I am allowed to write inside, otherwise not. For unidirectional system, this is for unidirectional system. For unidirectional system, what is having, you know, it is again all from your right. Again, you don't have to think all these things. Unidirectional, you have to make a gap at the middle of the dimension line. There you have to write the value, but this gap should be at the middle. That is the big deal. That's why I am telling you to follow this one, because middle position you can find out. But if this part of the arrow, say it is getting small, and this part, right part of the arrow is getting large, then it is wrong basically. So that's why it's very difficult to follow this. If you can, just you can follow, that is up to you. But this is the unidirectional. You see all the directions are in vertical. That means all the directions are same. The values, the direction of the values are same, but it is placed at the middle. There should be a gap and at the middle. Okay, so here there will be no change basically for showing the dimension of these circles, but from the others other part you can see the difference between these two. Is this clear? Aligned system and unidirectional system of dimensioning.
Yes, sir.
If you are having any doubt, feel free to ask. Okay, so I will suggest to follow this your aligned type of system. Okay. Now you can
Sir,
take a
there is no
screenshot.
extension in the
Uh,
diameter.
uh,
So there is no extension line in the diameter.
Diameter, no, for diameter, for showing the diameter I will use the leader line. There will be no extension line. Okay, because this leader line is extending
So when the
basically
diameter is
diameter is this one.
so when the diameter is very large.
When the diameter is very large, that means say for this one. Okay, when the diameter is very large, then only you can write like this, otherwise not. Okay, that I was discussing, that when I will discuss, no, there will be no extension line, that you are asking, that there will be some extension line to here or here or not. Extension line will be used when I am giving the dimension outside the object, not inside. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we will go to a particular chapter, basically scales, that I was talking about in the last class also. I think that this scale is basically your assignment number 1, problem number 1 is related to this topic scale. Fine. So this scale is different types of scales we use. Basically, we have to construct. I think I have discussed in the last class. We are going to construct some scales. Okay. So now scale at in just you may think that what is the that means utility to learn this scale. Basically, what for that you have to know what are the uses. In any design purpose, there are several use of scales. That means starting from the design of any your large building, or the design of a microchip, whatever you say. For the production, you have to design that first. Now while you are designing anything, we have to make the drawing. For that, say I have to I have to construct a building, I have to draw that first. A civil engineer will draw that, your either in pen and paper or in any software, whatever it may be. But obviously he or she will not draw in that large sense. The building may maybe of height of your say 100 meters, but obviously my drawing should not be of 100 meters. That may be of height of your 10 centimeters, right? So what I am doing, I am basically reducing the scale of the figure. I am basically reducing the scale of the figure at a particular ratio, at a fixed ratio. That means why I am giving stress on this term fixed ratio, because if I am reducing the height of the building by say 1:100 in this ratio, say for example, then the dimension of all the things, that means dimension of a door, dimension of a window, dimension of any lobby, whatever you say, all the dimensions should be reduced in the same fashion. That means in the same ratio. There the point of concern of this scale will come. That means for each and every drawing there should be a scale maintained. Now depending on this enlarging of any drawing, or you reducing the dimension, that means enlarging the dimension or reducing the dimension, there may be different types of scales. Right now, whatever the example I gave you, there what we are doing, we are reducing the dimension. We are reducing the dimension of the building and we are drawing that. This type of scale, that means this type of scale ratio or this type of scale is known as your reducing scale. Just the reverse may be there for your design of any microchip. It is it is used for any motherboard. So you know, it may be a phone, it may be of your computer, whatever. Before manufacturing, there is a design of that type of chip, right? So that chip, when it is designed, obviously it will be not designed in that small sense, in that small scale. So what I may do, I may enlarge the dimension and I can draw it clearly, then I can manufacture. Then what I am doing, I am enlarging the dimension. Okay, there also I will enlarge all the dimensions in a particular ratio. Okay, so that this type of scale basically is known as your enlarging scale. These two things are clear or not? Enlarging scale and reducing scale. Is it clear? Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm giving you another example that you all of you may have in your home. You may have the map, right? You may have a map of your country, map of your state, whatever. If you see any map, whatever you say, at the top corner or at the bottom corner, you may find a scale. Okay, that means, say for example, I'm having a map of India. I'm placing a scale, that small scale that I'm having at my home. I'm placing that, I'm finding that the distance between, say for Kolkata and Chennai, it is giving me 5 centimeter. But But if I want to know what is the actual distance between the Kolkata and Chennai, these two cities, I have to see that scale, with which I have to multiply with some ratio, and I will get the final or actual distance between the two particular cities. Have you seen these things in your any map?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
sir.
each and every
But
map is
sir,
having one type of your scale, right? So that is basically the importance of any scale. Whenever I am enlarging anything for my design purpose, that is known as your enlarging scale. If I reduce, that is known as your reducing scale. But if I don't change the dimension, that also may be the case. If I don't change the dimension, that is known as your full scale. That means the scale ratio will be 1:1. Okay, so that is basically the importance of scale. And one term that will be called, that you can see over slide, that representative factor. Basically that ratio is known as your representative factor. Basically what we will do in this chapter, we will be constructing, as I told, we will be constructing a scale. That means each and every scale will have some how I will construct. Just a problem will be given to me. According to that problem and according to the data given in the problem, I have to design or I have to construct that scale. Using that scale, I can measure up to certain distance, okay, up to certain value. So that maximum value will be given also in that particular problem. So so those things will be discussed when I'll show you a particular problem. I'll show you today itself one particular problem of diagonal scale. So each and every scale is having some maximum limit, as you know. The scale that you have at your home, that may be a 15 centimeter scale, for example, say. So if I ask you to measure more than that, you cannot just measure using that scale more than 15 centimeter. So like that, each and every scale is having some maximum limit, okay, for measuring purpose. So like that, in your problem, you will find that maximum limit, and according to that, you have to construct that type of scale. Now let me come to the point, actual point, in the sense the steps how we can create a scale, how we can generate a scale. Before that, you have to know some things. Things means some steps, very important. How to construct the scale? If anyone asks you, first step should be to calculate this factor. This is your representative factor. What is this? You can see in the slide, that is nothing but dimension of drawing divided by the dimension of the object. That means dimension of drawing divided by the actual dimension of the object. So it may be these two things will be given in the problem. Okay, these two things, that means dimension of drawing and dimension of the object, will be given in the problem. You have to calculate the RF first. So it may be in terms of length, it may be in terms of area, it may be in terms of volume. Only there is a minor change in the equation that you can see. It is in terms of length, then just the length of the drawing divided by actual length. And if it is in terms of area, just area of drawing divided by actual area, just under root will be there. And if it is volume, then it will be cube root. Okay, so this is a very simple equation. RF, very frequently asked in the Viva. What is RF? RF is the representative factor for any scale. How I can calculate this? By this ratio. Okay, so this is the first task, to calculate the RF. Second one is the calculate the length of scale. That means how long that scale will be. Okay, you are drawing, you will be constructing a scale. That means you will draw a line. How much that long that line will be. So that is basically known as your LOS, or length of scale. So length of scale, how will you calculate? The RF that you have calculated just right now, multiplied by maximum distance or maximum length to be measured. Okay, now this maximum length to be measured means this will be given in the problem. Okay, that using that scale, up to how much distance I want to measure. Okay, obviously that should be known to you, because a scale cannot measure infinite length. Each and every scale is having some limitation. So that maximum thing, that limitation will be given in the problem, and you have to calculate the length of scale. Now once you are getting the length of scale, just some value you are getting, then you can proceed for constructing the scale. So now I will show you a particular problem. Okay, so that is similar to your problem number 1 of your assignment number 1. So if you understand this problem, obviously you can solve that one also. So let me go to the problem, a particular problem.
Sir, please wait for a moment.
Okay, if you want to take a screenshot, you can take.
Yes,
These
sir.
two equations will be used only. Okay, no other equations are required. Now some steps will be followed only. that I will show you when I will discuss a problem. Now, before going to a problem, just have a small recapitulation of different units, because here in the problems of scales, you have to play with the different units. So you know these things. I'm not just reading out, because just you have seen, just you know all these things. You just have a look of this, the conversion of the units. You should be very familiar with this. And types of scales. Let me show you different types of scales. Plane scale. First one is the plane scale for dimension up to single decimal. Okay, plane scale means whatever the scale we use in our day-to-day life to measure something, some length. That is your type of your plane scale. Now that plane scale is able to measure up to single decimal. That means if I ask you to measure 5.1 centimeter, you can measure it, okay, by your scale. But if I ask you to measure 5.25 or 5.23 centimeter, can you measure by your scale? 5.23 centimeter, can you measure?
No, sir.
Obviously no. So for that I need some special
No,
type
sir.
of scale. So that is basically, that may be diagonal scale. Okay, diagonal scale, we'll learn how to construct a diagonal scale. Next is the vernier scale. This is also, I think you are familiar with this name. Now this vernier scale and diagonal scale both can measure up to 2 decimal, but this, I think this vernier scale you have used in your school life, in your physics lab or whatever you say. So there you have measured some smaller dimensions you have used by your, just you have measured by your vernier scale, but both of these scale can measure up to 2 decimal. Now comparative scale may be able to compare two different units in a single scale. That means basically whatever the scale you have, basically that may be also called as a comparative scale, because you are having centimeter also, you are having inches also in the same scale. So you are comparing two different units in a same scale. That is known as your comparative scale. And scale of course is for using the measuring the angles, or for any constructing any angles. Angular scale, that is nothing but angular scale. But in your syllabus, plane scale and diagonal scale is only plane scale, and the diagonal scale will be of your syllabus, that is in your syllabus. Let me go to that slide. Wait. Okay. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Let me go a particular problem, so that now you see I will be taking a particular problem of a diagonal scale. Okay, it will take 10 minutes to explain, and then I will hand over the microphone to another faculty who will be taking care of your AutoCAD. Okay, AutoCAD part. But before that, this diagonal scale, the construction of diagonal scale will be taking care of the construction of plane scale also. So that I will be, if I discuss a problem of diagonal scale, that will also cover the plane scale also. So let me go to a particular problem. Let me skip this plane scale problems. That will be discussed in a diagonal scale problem. Let me take a particular problem. Okay, let me take this problem. Can you see this problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the distance between Delhi and Agra is 200 km. In a railway map, it is represented by a line of 5 centimeter. What does it mean? The first line, can you see the distance between
Sir, yes, sir.
Delhi and Agra is 200 km.
RF is 5 by 200.
Yes, RF. From this first line, you have to understand, I have to calculate the RF here. I am having a railway map where if I place a scale, it will give me just 5 centimeter long line. And but actually the two cities are Delhi and Agra, which is actually distance is 200 kilometers. So I can calculate RF from the first line. So also it is required, find its RF. Then draw a diagonal scale to show single kilometer and maximum 600 kilometer. What does it mean? The second line, I have to construct a diagonal scale to show single kilometer and maximum 600 kilometer. That means what?
So the range of the scale should be 600.
Yes, that means that scale, yes, that scale should represent 600 kilometer. Now that scale will be obviously not 600 kilometer long, but the scale will represent 600 kilometer. Got my point or not? The scale
Yes, sir.
should represent 600 kilometer and also can measure up to 600 kilometer actually. And what is the minimum value? Show single kilometer. That means 1 kilometer also I can measure using that scale. 1 kilometer. Single kilometer means 1 kilometer. Below 1 kilometer, I cannot measure anything using this scale. So after constructing the scale, I have to show these 4 distances. You can see. So that is after construction. So let me show you the construction part. The calculation of RF, you can see 5 centimeter by 200 kilometer, as I was talking about. This is the dimension of the drawing. 5 centimeter divided by 200 kilometer is the actual dimension or the actual length. Fine. So convert this 200 kilometer into centimeter, and so that just it will be on a same unit. And I'm getting this type of ratios. Keep it in this type of ratios in this format. 1 upon whatever we are getting, 40 lux, whatever the value we are getting, keep that in that format. So next is your length of scale, calculation of length of scale. What will be length of scale? The RF multiplied by the maximum distance. What is that maximum distance in this problem?
600 kilometers.
600 kilometers. 600. Right. Now again it is in kilometer. So if I convert that kilometer into centimeter, whatever the length I will get, I will be directly getting that in terms of centimeter. So that's why I'm multiplying with this 10 to the power 5 to convert this kilometer into centimeter, because RF is having no unit, and this 600 kilometer I am multiplying, that is the maximum distance to be measured, and I am multiplying with 10 to the power 5, so that I am getting 15 centimeter. So this 15 centimeter is now my length of scale. I will take how much long line for drawing purpose? 15 centimeter. So let us take that line. So no need to read these things because steps I will explain. Okay, this is the 15 centimeter line. You can see that this 15 centimeter line is actually representing how much distance actually? 600 kilometers. Okay, this should be clear to you. Okay, now for an instance, forget about 15 centimeters. This line, whatever the line I have shown, this line is showing you 600, actually representing 600 kilometers. Now to construct a scale, I have to divide this line into some equal number of parts. Okay, firstly I will divide this into 6 equal parts. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Who can tell me why I have divided this line into 6 equal parts specifically?
Sir, each will get
Each
100
100
kilometers.
Very good. Some students may think that I am having 15 centimeter line, so I may have to divide into 15 equal parts. No, that is not the concept. 15 centimeter line, now forget about 15 centimeter. Whatever the line I have drawn, that is my representing 600 kilometer. I have to construct a scale which may measure some distances. So first should be, it will be multiple of 100. So if I need some multiple of 100, I have to divide this 600 into 6 equal parts. Now how to divide this line into 6 equal parts, that I will show you in the next class. There is a particular method for that, that is known as your set square method. Using the 2 set squares, you can divide any line into some equal number of parts. Okay, so following that method, I will show you that in the next class. That will take 5 minutes, but that's, as of now you take a note that you have to divide this line into 6 equal parts. After dividing, you have to name it like this. First part, leave the first part. Okay, leave the first part, start 0 from this point. Okay, after leaving the first part, 0, 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. Okay, and
Why?
Sorry,
Why?
let me complete. I think you will get your answer. Okay, so this 100, why I have left this? Okay, there is some reason, that's why I have left this 100. Okay, each of the part is representing 100 kilometer. So I have started my 0 from here. Okay, now question is why. That will be understood while when I'll complete this construction, and while I'll show you these things, these dimensions, how to place this, that will be clear. Now after this, what is the step? Up to this, what I have got? I have got each of the part which is having 100 kilometer distance. Now whatever the first part I have left, first part, this one, divide that first part into 10 equal parts again. I repeat, divide the first part into 10 equal parts again using the same method, that is your set square method. what I will get after dividing this? Anyone?
Hectometer.
Each 10
10 kilometer, because this is, each of the part is 100 kilometer. So if I divide this 100 kilometer into 10 equal parts, I will be getting 10 kilometer multiples of 10 kilometer I can measure. Okay, so this first part should be divided into 10 equal parts. Small parts you will get, but you have to divide it. Okay, next you have to take a height of the scale. Now obviously we need not to color it here, it is given in form of some color, but just you have to take a height and you have to complete this rectangle so that it looks like a scale. Okay, and you draw these vertical lines from each of these main divisions. Okay, main unit division. Okay, now what will be this height of the scale? Now this height of the scale, there is no such particular rule, but it should not be more than 4 to 5 centimeter. Maximum it should be 4 to 5 centimeter, not beyond that. Generally you take whatever the length of this first part. Okay, take that much of length as a height. Up to this, whatever I have discussed, that is a plane scale. Up to this, whatever I have discussed, whatever the construction I have shown, that is a plane scale. That means if I ask you to measure, say for example, if I want to ask you to measure 220 kilometers, how I will measure? Using this, I will now, how I will measure? Okay, try to understand. I will start from 0 for any measuring. For any measuring, I will start from this 0. 220 kilometer means 200 plus 20 kilometer. So first I will take 200. How I will show the 200 kilometer? I have to go to the right from the 0, isn't it? I have to go to the right from the 0. So from the 0, if I go to this point, I will get 200 kilometers. Okay, if I want to show 20 kilometers, on which direction I have to go? From left. From 0 I have to go to the please wait, from 0 I have to go to the left. First point will give me 10 kilometers, second point will give me 20 kilometers. So from this point to this point, that length is giving me 220 kilometers. That is a problem of plane scale. But if I ask you in the same scale, if I ask you to measure 225 kilometers, can you measure using this scale? Using this scale, is it possible?
No,
it is
sir.
not possible. If you see, I have not got anything which is of multiple of 1 kilometer. Okay, so for that, what I have to do? You may think, sir will now ask me to divide this small 10 kilometer, again divide into 10 equal parts, but that's theory. It is not that case, because it is not possible to divide this small part into 10 equal parts. That is not possible. For that, now the construction of diagonal scale will come. There will be some diagonal lines, obviously. From the name it shows, diagonal scale means there will be some diagonal lines. For that, I have to divide this height also now. Up to this, whatever construction I am showing, you can take a screenshot. This is the construction of a plane scale. Okay. Now you see, whatever the height I am having, this height I have taken, divide that height into also 10 equal parts, like this. Okay. I have divided this height also, whatever the height I have taken, into 10 equal parts using set square method. Okay, so once I am getting this 10 equal parts, you can see some horizontal lines they have drawn. You have also to draw, you have to draw these horizontal lines from each of the divisions on this vertical part. Okay, each of the division of this vertical part, equal divisions are there, but you cannot but you may not extend this line up to the end of the scale. You may close it just in the first part. Okay, in the first part you just enclose it. That means extend this line up to this first part, up to this part. Okay, now that the concept of diagonal line will come. Now see, I will draw the first diagonal line. See carefully. Okay, they are showing the units, kilometer, kilometer and kilometer, all are in kilometer. This is the first diagonal line. Okay, this is the first diagonal line that I have drawn from the 9th point, because this is my 0. This is my 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the last before point. So this is the 9th point. From the 9th point of the horizontal division to the 10th point or the top notch point, okay, of the vertical division, if I join, I will get a diagonal line. Is that clear? This line is clear, from the 9th point of the horizontal division to the 10th point of the vertical division, or the top notch point. So that if I just join it by your scale, once you join by your scale, you will get this diagonal line. Then you have to draw parallel to this diagonal line at each of these divisions. Divisions means in the horizontal part you are having some divisions. You have to draw parallel lines to that inclined line, like this. Like this. How we will draw this? With the help of roll and draw, not by using your scale. By using scale only, you will be unable to draw the parallel lines. It will look like a parallel line, but it will be not a parallel lines. Okay, so this gap should be same. Okay, this topmost gap should be same. So from each of these horizontal point, you can see I am drawing some inclined lines up to this point 0. Now the construction of this diagonal scale is complete. Okay, now see, I will measure some of these distances to show. Say for example, let me take this 569 kilometer first. 569 means 500 plus 60 plus 9. So 3 parts are there. How I will show the 500 kilometer? I need some quick responses. 500 kilometer
0 to 500.
from 0 to
Right side.
500. Okay, I will draw a vertical line over here. I have got 500 kilometer. Then 60, how I will get this 60 kilometer?
So to the
From
zero.
0
From 0 to left.
60 left.
left. Each of the part is giving me 10 kilometers. So I think this middle one is 50 and this point is my 60. Okay, this point is my 60. Now 9 kilometer. Now see, at each and every point, at this 6th point also I am having a diagonal line. At this 6th point I am having a diagonal line. Take that diagonal line and go up to the 9th intersection point. I repeat, for the 9 kilometer, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. This is the 6th point. Okay, see my cursor. From this point, you are having also one diagonal line. Okay, you have to take that diagonal line and you have to go up to the 9th point, as I need 9 kilometers. If I go from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the point I have to mark over here. That is the required point. So if I draw a line, vertical line from this point, in between distance, it will give me 569 kilometers. Is that clear? How I am placing this dimension?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Again, I am
Yes.
showing you for another example, 459 kilometers, so that it will be more clear if anyone is having some doubt. So 450 plus 9. 400 means 0 to 400. I have got this line. Okay, whatever the dimension you will show over here outside the scale, you can see that, not inside the scale. Okay, 400. Then 50. 50 means from 0 I will go to the left. 50. This is the 5th point, I think. 50. Again 9. That means I will take that diagonal line from the 5th point, and I think this is that point. Yes, this is the 9th point. So again I will drop, I will take a vertical line, and in between distance is my 459 kilometers. Okay, I am showing you for another 2 also. If you are having any doubt, please ask me. I am showing you. 336 means 300 plus 30 plus 6. So 0 to 300, I have drawn this line, and this is the point. How I am getting 36 means 0, 10, 20, 30. 30 then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This red point is the required point I have to mark, and I have to show this distance, 336 kilometers. 222, similarly very simple, 0 to 200, 200 and then 20, 10, 20 and 2 first, second point. Okay, this is the point. And in between distance, I can show you at 222 kilometers. Is this problem clear enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And this is all about for the first, basically today is the second class, but we are starting the assignments today. So you can see now the problem number 1 of your assignment number 1. I think you can solve that by own, because one small change is there. The RF that you have to solve in that particular problem, that information is given in terms of area. That is the difference only. Nothing difference is there. This is the same type of problem you have been asked to solve. So try to solve that by your home. And if you face any problem, tell me in the next class. In the next class, we will proceed for your question number 2, 3, 4 of the assignment number 1.
If the
So
distances are in decimal form,
if the distances are in decimal form, you can see decimal means, say if it is below 1 kilometer, this scale will be not able to measure, because here in the problem itself it is written minimum range is 1 kilometer, maximum is your 600 kilometer. Okay, now if that type of scale if you require, then you have to maximum some distance will be there, but then that kilometer unit also you have to divide. Okay, that is also possible, but in this problem that is not
like
possible to show.
22.5 or 4, that's how.
No, that is not possible. You're using this scale. For that you have to construct a scale where you can divide 1 decimeter. That means this kilometer also you have to divide. Okay, 1 kilometer also you have to divide into 10 equal parts. That is not this type of scale. That is also diagonal scale, but there you have to divide this. This division will be obviously changed, right? These divisions will be obviously changed. Then this maximum limit will also change. This maximum limit may be of 6 kilometer or 7 kilometer. Okay, then it will be obviously not 600 kilometer. Okay, if you are interested, I will show you that type of problem once also in the next class. Okay, that is not an issue, but here as per this problem, minimum I can measure 1 kilometer. Below that I cannot measure. Okay, clear this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
in the
sir.
next class we will proceed further. Now I am stopping this sharing, and I think Orpon sir is also present. Please wait.
Sir, can you share the Google Classroom
Yes,
link?
I am very much present.
Okay. Please wait 1 minute. My computer.
Okay, so should we proceed with our AutoCAD now?
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
Okay,
I will be
sir.
circulating the attendance link at the end. Okay.
Okay, so the thing is, how many of you have been able to install the AutoCAD? Hello,
So I
good
tried
afternoon,
only.
everyone. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How many of you?
So I tried, but it was showing it requires a security key or something like that.
Sir, I am not able to download the AutoCAD.
I got the full version. Okay.
Full version means the crack version. Yes.
No, the student version
Have you
from the official
have,
website.
have you taken the help of the YouTube? All of
Yes.
you have in your home or at the side of your home a working broadband connection, because without the broadband connection, only by mobile data you will not be able to install the software. Okay. You have to access some broadband connection. If it is at your home, that's fine. If it is not at your home, then you need to visit your nearest neighbor or nearest friend. Okay. And try to quickly install it, because without installing it, only by seeing the class is actually useless. You have to practice of your own. Those who have already installed, they will get it better. Otherwise, it is actually becoming useless, because you will never be able to draw when you will be in jail time, when you will be facing this AutoCAD problem further. Anyways, still we cannot stop, because we have always time limitations, and especially this drawing section. In the drawing section, AutoCAD and hand drawing all together, the syllabus burden is actually huge. It's not so small. So last day what we have discussed, can you remember, any one of you? Last day what we have discussed? Can anyone remember? Is my screen visible to you, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Last day what we have
Yes,
discussed?
sir.
The basics like how to use the command line
Okay.
and how to use different tools using
So,
command.
so those who have already downloaded the software, have you opened the software for a while and try to do the things what I was showing in the last day. Anyone? Have you voluntarily tried it? Otherwise, it will go like impossible. Okay, because you can see there are actually thousands of comments. Not only inside this and under this also there are multiple comments options, comments and tools are there. Until and unless you start to explore it, it's very difficult to absorb all these things together. So have I told you last day how to draw a line? First, after opening the AutoCAD, what you need to do, in the comment box, you need to type units, U-N-I-T-S, units. Can you visit my screen? Just zoom around it. You will see that what I have written, U-N-I-T-S, units. And then I need to press enter. Another thing you can see here, I am using AutoCAD 2015 version. Because today I am present in the laboratory in which you will, if the offline class is open, obviously, you will do this AutoCAD class where people used to do. Here we are getting AutoCAD 2015 version. Okay, but still we are not getting any problem. Why? Because the basic features in the 2011 version, 7 version, 9 version, or 20 version, or your 15 version are same. Some extra features may be added, but that is not of our too much requirement. Okay, so how to set the units, and then enter. Then it will open this box, and what I have said, the unit to the scale inside a content. That you take, that you keep the millimeter, but the precision you make 0. That means after decimal, how much figures you will give. Okay, this is for length part, and this is for angle part. This one. And after selecting all those things, you need to press OK. So have I told you how to draw a line? Last time? Not told you. To draw a line, you need to take the line from here. That means left click on this line. Just one left click. Otherwise, what you can do, in the comment box, you type LINE or even the first letter of the line, L, and then enter. Then in the comment box, AutoCAD has a facility that in the comment box always shows you, okay, always shows you what you need to do. What it is asking for the first point. The first point, how you can give? You can click on the screen anywhere. If you click, suppose here, just left click, that will take the point. Okay, and it will try to draw the line. Now I am not clicking anything. I am just dragging my mouse. If I click here, it will take this point. And again, it will try to draw another line. It will continuously draw line. It will never end until and unless you press the escape button of your laptop or desktop, whatever. ESC escape button. Okay. If you press escape, that will exit from any command. The build command has been cancelled. You can notice here. Okay. So suppose you need to draw a line. You need to draw a line. Okay. So obviously this arbitrary draw will not solve your purpose. You have to draw the lines by taking the dimensions. Okay. So how to do that? Just take the line. Suppose you are starting from arbitrarily here, this one. Click on here. Drag your mouse, the direction you fixed by just dragging your mouse. Okay, suppose I want to draw in this direction. And then I need to give some dimension. Suppose 100 I am giving the dimension. You can see in the comment box, it is writing 100. Just give the dimension, put the dimension, and then press enter. See what happens. I need to press escape, otherwise it will try to draw another line. See what happens. If I press escape, this is 100 millimeter line has been formed. This is the zooming problem. Okay, how to control the zoom? Obviously, you know, scrolling the mouse. Scrolling the mouse will control the zoom up to a level, after which, if the zoom not permits, you need to come to this point. This one. This one is the zoom toolbar. If you click on here, you will get zoom in, zoom on, all these options. Just click on this zoom on. It will continuously now zoom in. If you click on here, continuously get zoom in. If you click on zoom out option, then if you click on this zoom toolbar, then it was completely okay. And this toolbar is also may be visible to someone and may not be visible to someone. How to control that? That is from this view toolbar. View toolbar. Okay. This is home. If you come to this view toolbar, is it visible to everyone? Just click on this navigation bar, it will turn off. If you turn on view cube, it will be turned on. If you click on the UCS icon, this will be turned on. In your machine, if you are not getting this one, come to this view toolbar and turn all this on. You will get all these options open to your machine. Is it clear? Now my question is, this direction is not fixed. Arbitrarily I have taken the mouse and that's why this has been taken. How to fix this direction? First of all, one type of fixing is you want to draw the lines only in horizontal and vertical direction. Then just come to this bottom section here. In some of the versions of the AutoCAD you can find it here, but it will obviously at the bottom toolbars. Here if you move your mouse one by one, if you move your mouse like this, you will get one point that is a symbol of a 90 degree. It is called ortho mode. What is ortho mode? You will understand when I turn it on. See, it is showing that if you zoom around it, it is showing that it is actually now white. Okay. Any mode that is turned on here will be turned to blue. If I click on here, it will be turned blue. That means my ortho is on. Now, if you move your mouse again here, you can see the cursor is showing ortho mode. In the bracket, it is F8. That means from the keyboard section, by pressing only the F8, you can control this ortho mode. You just type F8, it will be turned off or on. Okay. How to understand it is on? When it is on, then it will be turned blue. If it is turned blue, then take the line, see what happens. Click on some point here. If you move your mouse, it will move only in this horizontal direction or vertical direction. In this fourth direction, the mouse can move the line. Because suppose here you are moving your cursor to like this direction, line will not move to that direction. Line will move horizontally or vertically. Only these two directions are possible. Okay. So in this direction, suppose you just type 200 and then press enter. See what happens? 200 mm line has been formed in horizontal direction. So arbitrarily line drawn, we understood. Just click on 2 points, taking by line, click on 2 points and then press. Okay. Drawing line in the horizontal or vertical direction, we understood. We have to switch on this ortho mode. Now, do you think is our requirement of drawing lines is still over? No. Our requirement is still not over. Suppose I need to draw a line from a special coordinate point. Suppose from 0, 0. What you need to do? Again you take the line. Instead of specifying first point, suppose clicking on anywhere, we just type the coordinate as 0, 0 and then press enter. See what happens. Just move your mouse. Sorry. Yes. Ortho mode I have on. Okay, see what happens. It is taking the 0, point. Now first point giving part is finished from my side. I have given the first initial point. Initial point how I can give? Arbitrarily click.
So can
or
you
give
show the
coordinate.
initial
Now-
point once again?
Exactly. Now what I need to do? I need to give the dimension. Suppose I give the dimension 100 again. And then press enter. See what happens. 100 millimeter line has been formed. Okay. So starting from a particular coordinate point and going to any arbitrary direction with your required dimension is possible. Obviously, if you switch on this ortho mode and then take the line and then press your first coordinate at 0 point, sorry, not point, it's comma, enter, and then you see ortho mode is on. That means it will come horizontally or vertically, and you can fix it, suppose 300, enter. Okay. So this is not impossible. And how to delete it? Just click on it. It will be selected blue, and then press delete or erase option. This one. Erase option you can see, and then this one selection and delete. Now the point is, I am not still happy by giving first your coordinate point and a dimension. I want to give 2 coordinate points. Instead of giving that first coordinate point and arbitrary direction dimension, I want to give 2 coordinate points. What I shall do? Line. First coordinate point is 0, 0. Enter. And second coordinate point is, if you switch off the ortho mode or on, it is not the problem. Suppose 100, 100. See what happens. That means AutoCAD easily understood itself what type of data you are giving it to input. Its dimension you are giving input, the coordinates input, or whatever. It understands easily. Okay. And the funny thing is, still I am not happy. Now I have drawn this one coordinate point known, this one coordinate point is known. Still I am not happy. What I want to do, I want to take the initial dimension, I want to take this point means 0, 0. You can never achieve without giving the coordinate point. Directly clicking on it, you will never achieve that point. 0, 0, enter. And I shall be happy if I can make one line at a 45-degree angle with the horizontal. At a 45-degree angle with the horizontal. So that feature is also possible. That is not impossible. How to do it? You just need to type @ instead of just giving the dimension, @ and then give 100 as your dimension. Then instead of giving the symbol of angle, we shall use a tilted symbol of angle, that is less than. And then give the angle, suppose 45. Enter. See what happens. At a 45-degree angle, some line has been made. What will happen if you give, instead of 45, if you give -45? What will happen? What do you think? Instead of giving 45, you are giving -45. Enter. See, now dragging your mouse doesn't influence the direction. Now dragging your mouse doesn't influence the direction. The direction is being influenced by the symbol of the angle placed. If you like to see, I shall again show you 0, 0, enter. I am dragging my mouse in this direction, but I am giving input @ 100 and then less than 45 only, not -45. Enter. See what happens. lines is being drawn in the 45 direction with respect to the horizontal. And the angle is always taken as anti-clockwise from this horizontal. Okay. So, line drawing is feasible by this multiple methods. You can give the coordinates, you can give the dimensions, you can choose this arbitrarily. Okay. By switching on this ortho mode, you can get horizontal and vertical lines, all these things. Now, whatever be our command, that means is at the rate, angle symbol, or this your coordinate points, or this dimensions, whatever I am telling you still now, that may not be shown in the comment box just like me in this software. In some of the softwares that have a problem like this, if you take the line, it will show not in the comment box. If you type it here 100 as your dimension, it will see in the comment box that is written nothing. But instead of at this cursor point, it is telling that this is your dimension, and then if you press the symbol of the angle, then you type suppose 45, and you will get this 45. How much is the angle? Sorry, this is not 45 taken. I don't know what it is taken. So basically, this features comes from this one. At the bottom toolbar, one thing is called this dynamic input. So if you have problem during practicing for this dynamic input, please switch off this dynamic input option. And how to switch off this dynamic input option? You can see if I move my cursor, it is showing that DYNMODE. DYNMODE, dynamic mode. So that means if I cancellate the line comment, obviously DYNMODE, if I type it in the comment box and enter it, then it will show that it will open in the comment box. So enter the new value of dynamic mode. Suppose I am giving 2 instead of 1, or 1 suppose I am giving. See what happens. 1 means dynamic mode is on. So let us give it 2. 2 is still on. Let us give me 3. No, it is not switching it off. So better to control it from the toolbar. So if you switch off, if the dynamic mode is also switched on, still it is not going to any problem. You shall be able to draw. That means you understood up to this. There are how much methods of drawing a simple line. A simple line drawing consists of a lot of methods. I request those students who already installed their AutoCAD in your computer, please try to do these methods for 2-3 minutes. Okay. For the 2-3 minutes, I am not showing anything new. You try to draw this thing. Because until and unless you draw yourself, okay, these things will not be grasped by you. So there are how much methods? By after taking line, I can give here coordinate input, or I can click anywhere. That will be taken as a coordinate. If your dynamic mode is on, then you can see if you move your cursor, your coordinates is continuously changing. Okay. So switch off the dynamic mode. So wherever you click, it will get the point. If I want to keep the coordinates here, I need to type coordinate. And how to keep the coordinate input? One value, x value, comma, y value. And then the second one. For the second one, you can give the dimension and then OK. Or you can give the coordinate point, give OK. And the direction control, there are 3 methods. One is arbitrarily by mouse. Another is by ortho mode. Okay, and another one is by angle control. How to control the angle? Simply put the value of the line. You cannot place the line value. If you want to control the angle, before placing the value dimension of the line, you need to place one at the rate and then 100 and then less than symbol and whatever angle you want. Suppose 120-degree angle you want, no problem. Enter C. The line has been made 120 degree from the horizontal. So try to do this in your laptop. Those whoever have the software, try to do it in your laptop or desktop, whatever you have in your home. I am not showing you anything for next 2 minutes. And those who haven't downloaded till now, they please make some screenshot during this operations, whatever I am doing, because otherwise you will not be able to remember it. Okay. You will get a lot of tutorials at the YouTube, but still some parts will be missing. Some parts will be missing means from there you cannot easily understand what are the steps we are actually doing. Okay. So you understood last year that taking comment in the comment box, that means writing something and then press enter, and also in the toolbar, if you select from the toolbar just by clicking, both the things give you actually the same result. But how need to escape from the comment? You need to exit from any comment. You need to press the escape button. Wherever you got stuck, you press the escape button, that will exit from the comment. Okay. And another thing is, okay, another thing I forgot to tell you that your comment box may not be visible to all of you. Control +9, these two things, close and open this comment box. If you close it, see, comment box is now not visible. If you take control and hold the control and press the 9, control and 9 together, it will open this comment box. Okay. So only drawing this line have so much methods, and during the drawing, whatever be the figure given to you, according to that you need to quickly take the decision which method you will use. Okay. Some people normally use this coordinate method. Some people use the dimension methods. Some people take this angular system. So which will be more faster for you? That is your challenge. See, in the AutoCAD drawing, I have told you from the first day onwards that it is not at all a problem of hand skill that you need to show during your hand drawing portion. But in the AutoCAD portion, your challenge is how fast you can draw with the software. By software, every drawing is easy, but fast drawing is not the easy part. Okay. So try to do it as fast as possible. If somebody is facing any problem, that means those who have the software, if you face any problem in drawing, you can ask me now. You can ask me now where to switch on this ortho mode on or off, where to take the line, how to switch on or off this comment box. Okay, line drawing, which method you are trying but you are unable to do, giving coordinate or the coordinate and then dimension, or taking arbitrary point as a coordinate and then taking the dimension, or anyone.
Clear, sir. Everything is clear.
Okay. Another useful thing is, suppose you want to draw another line from the end point, midpoint of this line. When this thing is required, I am showing you, suppose I am, by switching on this ortho mode, I am drawing one rectangle. Suppose. So I give the value 200. Here I give the value 100. And after that, I suddenly press the escape button. Escape button from my computer. See what happens if I want to draw another line by taking this end point. Okay. Perspectively, you can see that this is quite joined. In my screen, it is showing the line has been drawn from this end point. But the problem is if you zoom around it, it is not joined. Select it, delete it. Just delete it. Now at this zoom level, let us try once again. Take the line and then take, 200. See what happens if you zoom around it, it is still not joined. Erase. Take the line. Suppose again you give 200. If you zoom around it, it is still not joined. So what is the problem? The exact endpoint finding is very difficult. Exact endpoint finding is very difficult. So how to find that exact point? At this bottom toolbar, if you move your cursor, you get this snap cursor to the reference point. Inside it is written object snap. What is object snap? If I turn it on, you will understand. Take the line, move your cursor around it. Automatically, just moving, I am just moving, I am not clicking here. Automatically, it is showing something endpoint. If you move around it, automatically it is showing the midpoint. Here, endpoint. Okay. So, then if you click on it and then go to this 200, enter. See what happens if you zoom around it. See what happens? Now it is completely joined. Again, the mode is on. That means I can take this endpoint and then just click on this endpoint, and in order to give the dimension, the rectangle is complete. This is the function of this O-snap. Now, which are the points it will snap? That means it will show when you try to draw. If you just click on it at the right side of it, the options will be open here, and you can click on this object snap settings, and inside it you can select all. That means all things will be shown: endpoint, midpoint, center, node, quadrant, intersection, extension, insertion, all those things, and then click on this OK. That means everything is turned on. Now intersection, these things, all things will show, but when you will try to draw this one, endpoint, midpoint. Okay. Suppose you are making two lines like this, then obviously it will show the intersection point. If you want to draw a line, this is showing an intersection. So object snap, ortho mode, dynamic mode, and this line. These things are the very basic parts of AutoCAD drawing. Until and unless you practice it by your hand, you face the problem and then ask me what are the problems, basic some common problems, you will not be able to understand anything in this software. So as fast as possible, that means within the next week, all of you please install the software in your computer, your laptop or your desktop. Otherwise, it will go on impossible to learn the software, and especially at this level of age. Okay? Take the help of the internet, take the help of any local seniors if you have, those who studied engineering, because AutoCAD software is nowadays not a very difficult software to get. Some people doing this interior designing, okay, so normally the wood shops where you see then furnitures are made, they also take the help of the AutoCAD sometimes. So they also keep this AutoCAD software with them. So from anywhere you get the crack version or the student version, but you please try to install the software at your home, at your laptop. For the online class, last minutes are late, so that's why I am concluding. For the online class, you need to be very much honest about yourself. Otherwise, here we cannot monitor you. At the offline class, we can check through every computer you are able or you are not able to do the things. But in the online class, we are actually cannot directly check you. But if you don't be honest this time yourself, then when the final exam will come, when the Viva will come, that point of time you will understand that what are the mistakes you have done for the entire semester. Okay, so you have to be very honest about yourself. Otherwise, it is impossible for you to grasp all the courses. That means, and especially these laboratory courses. Okay, that means you can do it. That in the next day also, I ask you, how many of you installed the software? You will say, sir, I couldn't. Many of you, and most of you. If you keep on doing this thing, then you are harming yourself, not us. You need to understand this fact. You are facing some trouble because you are not getting access to the software. Obviously, you are not getting access to the laboratory. That is your problem. But you have another benefit also, that you are doing your class from your home. Try to understand this fact together. Okay. So, you need not to travel. Every day, a lot of, maximum of you have to travel a lot to reach the college. You need not to travel. You can save this traveling time. So in that period also, if you use yourself, then you will be able to, I think you should be able to install the software at your home. Until and unless you download and install the software at your home, it is impossible to learn all the things by seeing only in this online video class. Okay. So, Abhishek sir, if you like to say something to the students, you can.
No, I don't think
Yes.
I have to say anything because, okay, attendance 70 students have given the attendance. Okay, the form will take the response up to 4:30 p.m. So only that thing I had to mention. Okay, thank you then. Thank you all of you. See you in the next class.
And by the next class,
No problem.
all of you, please try to install the software.
Yeah, try
If
to
you are
install the
not
AutoCAD.
if you are not genuinely trying yourself, then you are harming yourself. Try to understand the fact. Just install the software in your laptop. This class is not a theory class, so that you can log in through your mobile and enjoy the whole class. Okay. This class you need to download the software as quick as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
then.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We shall again meet in the
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sir.